Good afternoon, everyone. So I think I've got about 10 minutes or so to talk about what we've been up to at ITS UK over the last year or so, which is going to be quite a whistle stop. So I'll try and run through things and can follow up with anyone who's interested after the session. It's worth saying I thought that was a really interesting presentation, Darren, and the political side definitely came through about that we operate in a highly political environment. So, one of the things that I've been looking to do with ITS UK since I joined now about 3 years ago is really kind of try and act as the industry's voice to government, to politicians, to make sure that we're making the case for transport technology. And it's a role that other industry bodies do and that ITS UK is now doing for the sector and is really critical. So I'm going to talk first about our advocacy and public affairs work, which has been growing and has gone from strength to strength. Talk a bit about our international activity, a bit of an update on our forums and events, and actually a little bit of a I wouldn't say world first, but a new announcement on that. And then just a bit of a catch up about our member benefits as well and what we're doing on that. So first, our advocacy and public affairs. As I said previously, it's acting as a voice to government has been sort of the one of the main purposes of us as an organisation. We now represent about 200 members from across the ITS sector, and we hear from them at the start of this year. We did this survey that asked about our priorities, and it's pretty clear that first and foremost is advocating on behalf of the industry, that first and foremost we are here to act as the voice of the sector and to support the industry in getting its voice heard. Last year there was obviously a general election and a new government. We published that document, a manifesto for the future of transport, really with kind of 4 key areas around connectivity and automation, which covered things like open data, integrated transports that covered how we join up the system and have the fact that there's now an integrated national transport strategy on its way is really positive. Sustainability in society, which covered things like road user charging and the need for us to support the sector in terms of things like safety. I don't want to say that we had anything to do with Rachel Reeves' recent announcement, but we've been going on about road user charging for long enough that I think the case is pretty much made that we have all the technology and the tools to be able to do it. And the final one was industry growth, really about our ability to export and also to sell technology and actually covering a bit of what Darren said in terms of that OPEX versus CAPEX, which we believe that there are some things that you can do to ease that, things like integrated settlements of funding, flexibility around funding pots, and things like multi-year funding for things like the for BSIPs and things like that, where you give greater certainty of what funding is coming down the line. So this year, that manifesto was published last year. This year, we've really been focusing on getting it in front of the right people. So we do our annual parliamentary reception where we had the speakers from all 3 political parties, Labour, Conservatives and Lib Dems. I shouldn't really say all 3 because there's more now, but the 3 largest political parties in Westminster spoke at that and we raised the issues there with a number of MPs. One of the things we've been particularly focusing on is integrated transport this year. We've held 2 workshops with DfT on the putting member views into the integrated national transport strategy. Our theme for the year was how to build an integrated transport network. So we've been feeding into that and are hoping that a lot of our policy asks that we've put in there around open data and things like that are reflected when the strategy comes out later this year or early next. We've given evidence to Parliament on things like demand-responsive transport, on-demand buses, and fed into things like bus inquiry around certainty for bus funding for the transport technology sector. And we've been engaging with ministers, and we've recently had a reshuffle. Simon Lightwood is the new roads minister now, switched, although he doesn't have road safety, as road and buses, and Lillian Greenwood still has road safety but public transport. Don't know how it all works, but that's not my job in working out how you give the briefs. But fundamentally, we are now working to get in front of Simon and engage with him. He was recently at our President's dinner where we spoke to him a bit about some of the issues that the sector is facing. It's worth saying we've also been kind of going to that level below in terms of the regions and engaging with mayors this year. We've had a huge amount of engagement with mayors from across different combined authorities, Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, are some of the photos there, engaging with combined authority officers, trying to also understand what the devolution bill means. And for those of you, I think it was hinted at with the Detro comment, but fundamentally there's a huge amount of decision making that is changing because of that devolution bill over things like, buses coming in the Bus Act, but also things like micromobility and over highways as well. So there's quite a lot of change coming. In terms of what's coming down the line for the rest of this year and next year, I mentioned at the TTF conference in the autumn that we are working on identifying the size of the ITS sector, the value that it gives to the economy. We're still working on that. We're aiming to have something published at the end of this year or early next year. The survey is still live for that. We've been getting members and organisations to respond to a survey that basically gives us an idea of the value and the revenue that you provide. And we're looking to put that together, extrapolate it, and come up with a figure for GVA, economic growth, jobs and investment that the sector provides. If you haven't responded to that survey, the 1st of December will be the deadline. We're sending mailings out, again, as reminders. So please do talk to me about it, because we need the more evidence that we can get, the better. We'll also be publishing this year a kind of pulse survey. We've been asking members what's been keeping them up at night. That was literally a question in our survey. I'm slightly intrigued to see the answers, because I'm sure some people might take it quite literally, noisy neighbours and stuff. But we're hoping to get an idea from the sector as to what their priorities are, what they need to see over the next year. And we're also working on things for next year in terms of traffic signals. TSOG, ITMF have been mentioned at this conference. It's fair to say we are missing that £20 million that ITMF could have achieved for local authorities. And there's still a huge amount to do in traffic signal obsolescence, not just in England, but in Scotland as well, where the situation is even worse. We are working with a number of members to make the case for that and are looking to launch a campaign next year. And finally, it's worked out very well with Darren's speech beforehand, that focus on the political. We're going to be moving to do some councillor engagement next year as well. It's critical that they are aware of what solutions there are. A lot of the things that we've talked about today, councillors do need to be in the loop on. They might not need to go down to all that level of detail, but they need to understand how they go back to their constituents and say they've made a change in road safety or in integrated transport or improved their bus services. And we are going to be working to engage with them on that, particularly in the run-up to the May elections. But also after that. And it's worth saying that there's Wales and Scotland elections next year, so we're going to be talking to MSPs and MSs from those two parts of the world as well. In terms of international work, and this is something we've really built up this year, going into next year, in a week's time, well actually on Sunday, so a few days' time, I and a bunch of ITS UK members, if you think a few around the room, are heading to Latvia, Estonia and Finland. We're going to meet various government officials from the three countries. For our first delegation, it's the first time ITS UK has done this. We're quite excited by it. It's working with our friends in ITS Estonia, ITS Latvia and ITS Finland. We're going to be looking to do that once a year. So 2026, we're already looking at what other three countries or so within a certain area we could do further engagement with and we could deliver a delegation to. Also next year is Intertraffic. We now have a full pavilion, a UK pavilion, the first time the UK, I think, has done a pavilion at Intertraffic. We're doing that with Ertico and with various others, and a number of members have signed up to that, about 8 members. We're promoting the World Congress there, but also all the expertise that the UK can provide. And Turkey and South Korea will be there as well, supporting the TTF stands and the TFWM stand. And of course, we're working to support the ITS World Congress, which Chris has given a good overview of. I won't go into more detail because I think he said it all far better than I can. Moving quickly on to forums and events. Our forum program has been growing, but it's been increasingly aware that actually we're doing quite a lot of stuff that could be slightly consolidated. We have 15 forums at ITS UK, and it's a huge number, and increasingly we're seeing that topics and events are kind of covering similar things. So it's been a while coming, but we've been putting our heads together and doing a review of our forum program. We've had an independent consultant, Rachel Quinn, who has been doing this on our behalf, who's gone out to forum chairs, gone out to the membership with a survey, various engagements, focus groups, to try and find out how we best deliver our forum program. So this is kind of the world first, which is the thing that, sorry, hold on, I think hopefully that's come through okay. Yes, it has. It's not looking so good on here, but it's showing on there. This is kind of what we haven't yet announced, but we will be announcing in the coming days, so you get a first look at it. This is basically our new forum structure for ITS UK. And what you can see is we've basically got three key pillars. Our governance, which doesn't really change. We've got our board, the team that delivers our program, and our executive group of executive members where we do dinners and quarterly updates. But our forum program, which used to be 15 forums, is now being split up into larger events that we will be doing, and those are the ones in purple, where we've tried to combine and put together particular topics. So looking at future roads, intelligent mobility, digital transport, logistics, freight and maritime, and safety tech. And then our groups, which are more like doing bodies. So we were talking about working groups and interest groups. These groups are going to be a lot more focused on delivering specific outcomes and activities. Those could be events, but it'll be more about progressing a particular part of what we do. So a good example is our early careers group that does an early careers essay competition every year. We have a women in ITS group that supports diversity in the sector. And an advocacy and public affairs group that supports our lobbying activity. And we're going to be adding to that an international promotion group and a small business startup group to try and feed into that. So there is quite a bit of change afoot. The big thing for members of ITS UK in this room is that we're opening up some of these positions, or all of these positions, for new people to join. Some of the forum chairs have been in for a number of years, and we've never really had a formal election process. So some of them are saying to us that they've been doing it 7-8 years, and it's probably time we had a formal process to renew and refresh those groups. So I'm hoping that by the end of the year, we should be going out to members calling for nominations for these groups, and we hope you all put forward nominations and get involved. Please do talk to me if you're interested in any of these, and I can give you some more details. You will have noticed at the bottom there's regional groups as well. This is something we're bringing online, and we've had an ITS North group start up in this year, and we're going to carry on working on that, look to bring a Midlands group in. I'm very aware that there's a lot of regional groups, so we're bringing them in at points where we feel we can support them. I think it would be unrealistic if we launched them all and then try to support all of them. And then throughout this, we do a webinar program, and we'll carry on doing that too. Please do come and talk to me about any of this, because happy to discuss further. And then I'll just conclude with a bit of a run through of the final thing that we've changed here. We've changed lots of our member benefits over the past few years, so do come and talk to me if you want to find out more about them. We do things now like tender and market monitoring. We've got political monitoring on our website under our members area as well. So we're trying to roll out member benefits as we can, and we're continuing to do those. The big new one for us this year is our new office. We've moved into a new headquarters in London, in Salisbury House in Moorgate. Why is that a member benefit? Well, It's what's attached to the office. The office itself for us is 4 desks and a little small meeting room. It's not very exciting for members, but there is an event space that is attached to that where we can get discounts for members. And we've already had members come to us looking to use that space for their own events. And we'll be hosting a lot of our events there, still going out and about amongst the regions and nations. But when we're in London, we'll be trying to use that a lot more. We do have our own little meeting room. We're working out how we best use that as well, so I don't want to give any promises, but there may be opportunities in future to use that for things like hot desking or coming for members to book it. So we're looking at options for that as well. That was, I think, a real whistle-stop tour. I've tried to keep to time. I don't know how much I'm over, but hopefully that gives a good overview.